So, I only ran 5k today out of 20 for my long run, but I'm already heading back home because my blood sugars have been very low, and I took 2 gels and some juice and some dried apricots, but they just keep going low, so it's not safe for me to stay far away from home, and I also don't have any more gels to take. I'm currently at 74. It's stable, but I don't trust it, so the plan is I will go home, I will take 2 more gels with me, and I will try to run the rest of the kilometers nearby my home in case the blood sugars keep dropping. When I left the house, my blood sugar was high, was on the higher side, definitely on the safe side, I would say, and I had no insulin on board. I woke up at 6 to have breakfast and I left the house at 9:30. For sure there was some residue of the breakfast not showing on the insulin pump, but usually it's not a problem. Probably today it's just too hot and my sensitivity is over the roof. I usually don't like running in treadmills, but honestly, for days like this, it would be the best option. I'm not opting for the best solution for me, which is running nearby my house. And this is honestly one of the difficult things about preparing a marathon and training for a marathon with type 1 diabetes. You have to accept that some days your calculations, and even if you are prepared, right, some days just don't work. Some days just go like this. Okay, so arrived home, drank some water, took 2 more gels. I will put them in the belt, so I leave the vest home. It's hot, so I prefer to leave the vest home. I'll go to the nearby park and I try to run the last 12 kilometers. Now my blood sugar is around 140. It should be fine because I have around about 60 grams of carbs on board, so I'm sure it will be fine, but you know, I will bring supplies anyway. It's not safe to run without carbs if you have type 1 diabetes, even if you are stepping out for half an hour. And yeah, let's go. Okay, my blood sugar is finally up. I'm currently in the 200, but I still have 8 kilometers to go, so let's see what happens. Running around in loops is definitely more exhausting than going into a straight line along the river, but it's fine. Nothing. I'm going back home. Blood sugar is again going low faster. I'm currently 153. I don't want to take another gel, but I will go home, maybe drink a little bit of juice, and let's see. Today it's just one of those days, you know. One of those days. Nothing. Today it's just not the day. I managed to do 17 kilometers, 17 and a half. Now I'm walking towards home. My blood sugar won't stay up. I'm again 109 with double arrow down. Previous reading was 129. This means that the blood sugar is moving rather fast towards a low blood sugar, so I just don't trust being outside anymore. I took for sure 15 grams of carbs before with the previous low, plus the dried apricots, I think those were around 8 or 10. So I don't know the math. I know that they are sugary. So low balling, it was probably 60 grams of sugars, of carbs, and that was not enough with the insulin pump turned off. So it's just not doable, it's just not safe. It's just too risky to be out with this blood sugar. So it was tougher than what I expected today. I had 20 kilometers in the plan, but my blood sugar just couldn't get up, you know. I think while I was having the first big descent, I had something like maybe 50 or 60 grams of carbs. When I was sure that I was on the safe side, because I had all those carbs, insulin pump turned off, came home, grabbed 2 more gels. At that moment I started to go low again, so it was just clear that today was not the day. Today was just too difficult to keep the blood sugars up. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm not sure how I will deal with this if I have to run more kilometers in the future. In the next couple of weeks, of course, I need to run, I think next week already, 24 kilometers, then 26, then 28, or maybe 28 and then 30, I don't remember. But still, I need to find a way to avoid this, whether can be more carbs before or higher blood sugar before leaving the house. I don't know because today I just did whatever I usually do, so I turned off the insulin pump. I should have seen that coming, because when I was having breakfast I had the usual bread, usual amount of insulin, and 1 hour later I was low. So I should have seen that my blood sugar already had the tendency to go a little bit on the lower side, and maybe I could have, I don't know, I could have taken more carbs before. Let's see. Tomorrow is a day off, so today I'm starting to rest.
Und dann war Alter, was war's eigentlich letztens bei dem Date? Du hast mir erzählt, dass du die eine jetzt triffst. War's denn? Ach so, ja, habe ich mir schon gedacht, dass das nichts wird.
We were grabbing an ice cream. We went out with the bike, and yet again, even with the ice cream, I got low. Good morning. I just came back from having breakfast. We went to a bakery just to take advantage of the fact that my blood sugar is leaning towards the lower side these days. I want to take a little bit of time to talk about what happened yesterday, and especially how difficult it is to deal with all this type 1 diabetes stuff, especially when you are training for a marathon. I ran 7 marathons already, and I think I got pretty good at knowing exactly how to train and how to deal with my type 1 diabetes during training. But the thing is that even though I'm pretty good at it now, I also know that type 1 diabetes is very unpredictable. I always say this: type 1 diabetes is unpredictable. There are 10,000 factors that can affect your blood sugar. There are 10,000 factors that can affect insulin sensitivity, and sometimes there's nothing we can do. And yesterday that was exactly the case, because I did everything by the book. I had no insulin on board. I had my insulin pump at first with a very low basal insulin and then completely turned off. I had my emergency carbs. I ate a lot of them. And despite that, my blood sugar kept going low. One time, and then a second time after I came home and decided to grab some more gels, I was able to run a little bit around the park next to my house. Yeah, at some point I was just exhausted of dealing with all that, so I decided to cut the run short. And yeah, it was only 2 kilometers, so it's fine, but still, it's a little bit of a bummer. And not only that, but yesterday we went out during the afternoon for an ice cream. Knowing that I was already really sensitive to insulin, I just took like a very small amount of it. I think it was 1.5 for the ice cream. Again, basal insulin lowered, everything by the book. And then when I was biking home, I was just going low again. And it's difficult to accept the fact that sometimes you have to stop what you are doing just to correct these lows, because of course it can be really dangerous if you don't do that right away. And I think it's the reason why I prefer to go high when I run, because I know that in that case I have time to, do whatever I'm doing. And luckily, I always glance at my insulin pump to check what's going on, because yesterday the blood sugars were moving so fast that if I was not glancing right away and noticing the descent right away, it could have ended badly, because it was just moving too fast. It's a little bit difficult to accept, but it's part of having type 1 diabetes, and it's part of marathon training with type 1 diabetes. And especially if you are starting, I think this is the most frustrating and difficult thing. Having type 1 diabetes and starting running, it's a whole different game, because you have to adjust all these little things, and it takes a lot of time to understand exactly what works for you. And sometimes, for example, it was also my case, it took months to understand exactly how to tweak my insulin pump settings, how to eat before, not to eat before. It's very difficult. Like, the easy way is like, oh, I just cannot do this. Like, I cannot do this. My insulin sensitivity is too high. My blood sugars are all over the place. So I really get it. I really get all the people that say, hey, this is just impossible, because it is. So today is Sunday, another rest day. I went out, I grabbed a breakfast outside at the bakery, and I'm planning to spend the weekend reading. I started to read yesterday here. Everybody's talking about it, so I'm really curious about it as well. The plan for next week is more kilometers. I think I have a tempo run on Tuesday, and the long run will be 24 kilometers. It's my favorite distance to run at the river, because I can do a loop, basically. I can arrive at the bridge and then come back. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now let's hope that my type 1 diabetes behave in the meantime.